Most riders think they know where the Triumph Trident belongs, entry-level naked bike, light, fun and affordable. But here's the shocker. Triumph is preparing to drop an 800cc version, and it could completely disrupt the middleweight naked market in the US. We're not talking about a small bump in power. We're looking at a jump from 81 horsepower on the Trident 660 to around 115 horsepower with the 798cc triple. That's a game changer. The question is, will this new Trident 800 have enough to stand toe-to-toe with bikes like the Honda CB750 Hornet, Yamaha MT-09, and Suzuki GSX-8S in the American market? Let's break it down. Right now, the Trident 660 sells in the US for around $8,595. It's a great bike for new and intermediate riders who want British style with usable power. But once you outgrow the 81 HP and 47 lb-ft of torque, the next step up in Triumph's lineup is the Street Triple R, starting at about 10,445, making 118 HP and 59 lb-ft of torque. The gap between the two has been clear for years. That's exactly the space the new Trident 800 is designed to fill. From what we know, the Trident 800 is expected to share the 7998cc three-cylinder engine found in the Tiger Sport 800, tuned for about 115 HP and 62 lb-ft of torque. If Triumph holds to its typical engineering, we can expect curb weight to land near 430 pounds, keeping it competitive with Japanese middleweights. Compare that with the Honda CB750 Hornet, priced at $9,399 with 91 hot HP and 55 lb-ft, or the Suzuki GSX-8S at $8,999 with 82 HP and 57 lb-ft. You start to see how aggressively positioned this Triumph could be. It's not just another option. It's potentially the most powerful bike in its class for under $2,500, but raw numbers are only half the story. In America, riders want more than horsepower. They want technology, reliability, and practicality. The prototype Trident 800 has already been spotted with radial 4-piston brakes, Showa suspension, and a TFT dash with rider modes like Sport, Road, and Rain. Add in traction control, ABS, and possibly cruise control, and Triumph is clearly aiming to compete head-on with the Japanese. Here's the real tension. Will riders trust Triumph's durability and dealer network the same way they trust Honda or Yamaha? Price is only one part of the equation. Availability of parts, ease of maintenance, and long-term reliability are critical factors for American riders making a $10,000 investment. If Triumph gets this wrong, the Trident 800 could be overshadowed by Japanese rivals that already dominate the middleweight naked market. So the stage is set. We have a potential class-leading engine, premium hardware, and a competitive price point, but also serious questions about positioning and trust in the US market. In the next part, we'll dive into the strengths and weaknesses of the Trident 800 compared directly to its biggest rivals, and why Triumph's strategy could either elevate the brand or leave it stuck in the shadows. Now let's get into the heart of the debate. How does the new Triumph Trident 800 stack up against its rivals in the American market, and where might it struggle? Because while the numbers look great on paper, the real fight happens when riders line up the options in the dealership showroom. Let's start with power and performance. At around 115 horsepower and 62 lb-ft of torque, the Trident 800 lands right on the heels of the Street Triple R, but at a lower price and with less aggressive geometry. That means Triumph is essentially giving you near-street triple performance in a more approachable package. Compare that with the Honda CB750 Hornet, which offers just 91 horsepower. The Honda is reliable, comfortable, and affordable at $9,399. But it can't compete with the Trident's triple-cylinder rush. Same goes for the Suzuki GSX-8S with 82 horsepower and 57 lb-ft of torque. Both are solid bikes, but if you're chasing thrills, the Triumph clearly has the edge. But then we look at the Yamaha MT-09. At $10,599, it makes 117 horsepower and 68 lb-ft of torque with a curb weight of about 419 pounds. It also brings in a reputation for reliability, a massive aftermarket, and one of the strongest dealer networks in the US. That's where Triumph has to fight the hardest. The MT-09 is already a legend here, an all-rounder that can commute, carve canyons, and even hit the track. The Trident 800 may be competitive on paper, but does it offer enough to sway someone away from Yamaha? Now let's talk electronics and features. The prototype Trident 800 has been spotted with radial 4-piston brakes, a Showa front fork, and rider aids managed by a 6-axis IMU, giving cornering ABS, lean-sensitive traction control, and multiple ride modes. If Triumph includes cruise control and a bi-directional quick shifter as standard, it'll leapfrog over the Hornet and GSX-8S, which keep things simpler. Yamaha's MT-09 also comes loaded with electronics, so Triumph needs to be priced right to compete head-to-head. The ergonomics also matter. The Trident 800 looks set to offer a split seat for better passenger comfort and a larger fuel tank, meaning more range than the Trident 660. That makes it not just a weekend canyon bike, but also a legitimate daily rider for longer commutes. Compare that to the MT-09's smaller tank and the Hornet's sportier ergonomics, and Triumph may attract riders who want versatility as well as performance. Here's where the conflict sharpens. Triumph must convince American riders that this is not just a scaled-up Trident, but a bike worthy of replacing the Japanese benchmarks. Riders here value after-sales support, resale value, and low maintenance costs, all areas where Honda, Yamaha, and Suzuki have decades of trust. Triumph's dealer network in the US is smaller and parts availability can be slower. That might scare away riders who want a worry-free experience. At the same time, the Trident 800's European styling, premium hardware, and triple-cylinder character give it a unique flavor that no Japanese rival can fully match. This is where Triumph has to double down, sell the soul and character of the bike, while keeping reliability solid enough to satisfy American buyers. So the conflict is clear. The Triumph Trident 800 has the numbers, the look, and the equipment to shake up the middleweight naked class. But it has to prove it can deliver consistency and trust in a market dominated by Japanese giants. In the next and final chapter, we'll pull it all together, weigh the strengths and weaknesses, and look at whether the Trident 800 has what it takes to become a real contender in the US market, or just another niche option. So, after looking at the numbers, the features, and the competition, where does the new Triumph Trident 800 really stand in the US market? The answer isn't simple, but it's worth breaking down carefully. First, the strengths. On paper, the Trident 800 brings one of the strongest engine packages in the middleweight naked segment. 115 horsepower and 62 lb-ft of torque put it right at the top of the class, matched only by the Yamaha MT-09. But unlike the Yamaha's rowdy inline 3, the Triumph Triple is known for delivering a smoother, more linear spread of power. That means strong mid-range for everyday riding, combined with enough top end to thrill on a canyon road. Add to that a projected weight around 430 pounds and premium components like radial brakes, Showa suspension, and IMU-based electronics. And you've got a bike that's not just powerful, but also well-equipped for serious riders. Another big advantage is the character. American riders often talk about how Japanese middleweights, reliable as they are, can feel a bit soulless. Triumph knows how to inject personality into its bikes. The sound of the triple, the styling cues borrowed from classic British design, and the unique balance of performance and comfort make the Trident 800 stand out. If you roll into a bike night with this, you're not just one of the crowd, you're on something distinctively European. But now, the weaknesses. For Triumph, the elephant in the room is always dealer network and support. In the US, Yamaha, Honda, and Suzuki have hundreds of dealers coast to coast. Triumph's footprint is smaller, and that means if you need service or parts, you might be waiting longer or driving farther. That's not something to overlook. For many American riders, especially those who want a bike as their daily commuter, peace of mind is just as valuable as horsepower. There's also the pricing puzzle. If Triumph slots the Trident 800 between the current 6060 at $85.95 and the Street Triple R at $10,145, we're probably looking at around $9,995 to $2,300. That's competitive with the Hornet and GSX-8S. But slightly under the MT-09, Triumph has to nail that sweet spot. Price it too high, and buyers will just stretch a little more for the street triple. Price it too low, and it risks cannibalizing the 6060. So, what does this mean for riders in the US? If you want a do-it-all naked bike that offers more power and features than a Hornet or GSX-8S, but without the hardcore edge of a street triple or the wildness of an MT-09, the Trident 800 could be exactly what you're looking for. It's shaping up to be the Swiss Army knife of middleweight nakeds, comfortable enough for commuting, fast enough for weekend blasts, and loaded with tech that makes it safe and adaptable for different riding conditions. The reflection here is clear. Triumph isn't just adding another bike to the lineup. They're making a strategic move to claim a bigger piece of the American middleweight market. If they can deliver on reliability, keep the price competitive, and expand their support network, the Trident 800 might not only succeed, it could redefine what riders expect from a versatile naked. The stage is set. In just a few months, likely at EICMA 2025 in Milan, we'll see the official launch. And when that happens, every rider shopping for a middleweight naked in America is going to have to ask, stick with the safe Japanese option, or take a chance on the British triple that promises more power, more character, and just enough refinement to make you rethink what a naked bike should be.